Hey everybody, so today I am here to give you guys a quick trying to conceive update. We do not have a lot of answers back quite yet, but I just feel like the ones we're waiting on, we kind of know what they're going to be, probably most likely. And when we get those back, it's going to be a while before we get the ball moving in the right direction for that. I'll get into specifics here in a second. Basically, I just feel like giving an update now is appropriate versus waiting maybe a couple more months. And as of right now, we are waiting a couple more days to test for the month of October. So right now, I do not know if October worked or not. Because of that, I am going to also give you guys like our mindset moving forward as if we have to try in November again, because things I feel like have changed for us and our mentalities have changed with trying different things. So my neighbor decided to mow as soon as I sat down. It's a weeknight, so my kids are kind of crazy, so hopefully none of that is too distracting, but I'm gonna just jump right into it with my results. If you didn't watch my old chit chat video, not old, my last chit chat video, I mentioned that I was finding a new OB. I love him, love his office, everything about it. You can go watch that video if you want specifics about how awesome he is. But basically, he ordered blood work and an ultrasound for me, and both of those came back completely normal. He said the only thing on my ultrasound was that I have a tilted uterus, but that does not affect fertility. It also isn't going to cause any miscarriages or anything like that. Like, it's not anything to be concerned about. So, and I had known that for, I can't even tell you, I was so young when I learned that I had a tilted uterus. So it was not news to me. This ultrasound was weeks ago, and so was the blood work. But I just had the appointment a couple days ago where I sat down and talked to him about all the results and stuff. And the blood work also came back normal. And he tested me for lupus, my thyroid, a couple of blood clotting disorders, and also a couple of syndromes or conditions that where if you have it, you can produce a protein that makes you at a higher risk of miscarrying. And basically all my results came back normal. And like I said, my ultrasound also came back normal. And that was a harder pill for me to swallow than I thought it would be. You know, I obviously don't want anything to be wrong with me. You know, I want to be healthy. I want my reproductive system to be healthy. But at the same time, it was more of, we can't give you a reason as to why this is happening. And that's a hard thing to hear when you're dealing with reoccurring pregnancy loss. It's not an easy thing to hear. And it's just, I felt like it was just more of the stuff, you know, you always hear. Like, it's nothing that you did. There's no real reason for it. You know, we don't know why these things happen. And you know, it was like I was really hoping that while I didn't want anything to be wrong with me, I could somehow get an answer out of it. But unfortunately, right now we don't have any more answers. And as for Mark, he just went to a primary care physician, showed them the results of the Let's Get Checked, and she also wanted to run a few more other tests before diagnosing him with low testosterone, just to rule out other factors as well. So we're getting that blood, like, it's in the process of getting done. He just went a few days ago, and we don't have the results back from that yet, but you know, we are sure that it's going to come back with low testosterone. But at the same time, there could also be another factor, and that's what I was talking about with this update. We know he has low testosterone, but moving forward, he's probably going to have to see a specialist, because for most people it ends up being a chronic condition. So he's going to have a specialist in his life for the rest of his life, and that's going to take some time finding the right medicine to work with him. If we conceive, if we don't conceive before he gets on medicine, will affect the kind of medicine he needs. And just, you know, there's so many different factors, and with it being the holidays coming up, it gets harder and harder to get into doctor's offices. So I just felt like holding off until we got all those answers and got it all figured out wasn't really fair to you guys, because there were some results to give you from me. And with his low testosterone, it's also just going to be kind of a long game, because just because you have low testosterone, again, does not mean that your sperm count or anything to do with your sperm is affected. It doesn't mean it 100%. You have to have a sperm analysis done to know that for sure. So we're going to have that done too down the road. And it's just you know, one of those things where it's going to be a lot of testing, a lot of doctor's visits, a lot of figuring stuff out through trial and error before, you know, Mark's probably in a good place with this. And that's why I wanted to give you guys an update as of right now. So that just kind of leaves me as to where we are right now, kind of mentally and emotionally with trying to conceive. I will say that I feel like we need to change things up a bit. For the past 3 months, we've been trying to be more distracted by things. I haven't really been doing anything different other than not testing, but honestly, the past 2 months, that hasn't done anything different. I wouldn't argue that this mentality encourages pregnancy for everybody. For some people, I'm sure it's a lot less stressful to pay attention to things and track things and stuff like that. I totally understand why some people may like this, but for Mark and I, two people who thrive on just knowing things and understanding things and research and I don't know, just kind of knowing the facts about things. We both very much appreciate that. Kind of letting that go and not knowing what's going on is harder on us mentally than I think either one of us kind of anticipated. I wouldn't say it leaves us hopeless, but it leaves us a lot less hopeful every month that it worked because we don't know what happened this month. We'll have no idea when things happen because we're not looking at things, we're not tracking, like, I'm tracking things through my Ava bracelet, but I'm never looking at them. This whole trying to conceive journey kind of thing, it is very much trial and error. You know, what works for one couple is going to work for the other, and that's what I'm learning. You know, we were doing what we felt best by, and after months of not getting the results that we wanted to get, we started trying something different, and this doesn't fit either. So I feel like balancing those two out, you know, not being such a fiend and not being so strict on certain things, but also at the same time understanding when things are happening and being able to track that and see it in real time. For me and him, I think that's the better option, like bringing both those worlds together, because I feel like the stress of overanalyzing everything and being super strict, that wasn't good for me physically, but what we're doing right now isn't good for us mentally. So if we could bring those together, I feel like there's a lot of longevity in that too. You know, you need to plan with trying to conceive, not just what's going to work this month. It's what can we sustain, because with trying to conceive, it's not always a quick journey for a lot of people. It can be a longer journey. So you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself in that process. And that's what we're learning. We're also learning content and, you know, like being content with where we are and understanding and feeling that. Figuring that out and feeling that contentness, it's like it brings you a kind of peace about it and you feel more at peace with things. Not saying that I'm fine when I get a negative pregnancy test. Obviously I'm not. But being content where you are while you're trying to get somewhere different is, I think, nothing but beneficial. So that's kind of where we are. It feels like I didn't have super great news or riveting things to tell you, but this is a lot of what our trying to conceive journey has looked like. It's pretty boring, it's pretty mundane, and it's just all about figuring out what works for us. But, you know, we opened up this journey to you guys, and I just want to be honest with, you know, the results we've gotten back, where we are, and just kind of share it, because I know everybody's different, and, you know, maybe this makes someone else feel better out there who's just, you know, maybe not getting any answers, or they're trying to figure out what works best for them. I also wanted to say thank you so much for your guys' support and well wishes, prayers, love, like everything that you guys send month in, month out has just been so amazing. Deciding to share this with you all has been one of the best decisions that I've ever made, and I just want to say thank you, because seeing those comments, you know, it doesn't change the results that we get or what we're going through, but at the same time it makes it a little bit easier. It's nice when you feel supported. It just makes everything feel better. It's like a trickle down effect, you know. So just thanks for coming along for the ride. Thanks for watching these videos and sticking with us and everything else. But if you guys have any questions, leave them down below. I'll do my best to answer them. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks for watching.